Hi folks, so pushing myself to do this recording, as I'm feeling I'm having to do with a lot of things of late, is really have to push myself. You see, what happened the other day was in the evening, probably at about sometime after midnight, my house was broken into, and I mean, I'll get more into the story, but it's absolutely knocked me. It's taken the wind out of me. I'm feeling very uninspired, feeling exhausted, and not only that, but like knowing that it's most likely, the people who broke into the house are most likely going to come back again. You see, this was the third time. The first time I might have mentioned before, they jumped over the wall and stole the copper piping from a geyser that is on sort of an outside room that no one uses. But, that's just enough to sort of wake you up a little bit. And we had a feeling that they were going to come back for more copper. But it was just an assumption. Anyways, about 2 weeks ago, guys jumped over the wall again, got onto the roof. There was no one at home in the house that I'm renting from, and they ripped out more copper piping. And when they rip out the copper piping, the water just floods, okay, and at a rapid rate. And so when I came home with the other people that live in the house, well, one in particular, it was just water just flowing off the roof at a ridiculous rate. It was just scary to see how much water. It seemed like the geyser had burst or something like that. When I climbed into the roof, I saw that the copper piping was stolen. And again, obviously, we've got to switch off the main water supply and then wait for the plumber to come and fix the water. And a few days later or something like that, it's just a real inconvenience. And then what happened on Saturday night, now being Wednesday, was that they broke in. There were two other people in the house. It's a 3-bedroom house, and I don't want to get into details about my living situation. It's kind of confidential, and I wish to keep it that way because for several different reasons. So it's not really important, but there were two other people in the house, and the one forgot to close a door properly. Although, even if the door was closed, they probably would have just used a crowbar to, break it open. So they came in and just ransacked the place and stole quite a bit of, two cell phones of mine. And what's so difficult is my camera as well that I do my YouTube videos on. And I had 3 or 4 brilliant videos that I was just so looking forward to upload, and they were saved on the camera. And then I might have had another recording on my cell phone that I was wanting to upload, and really just good quality. I was just so happy with the recordings, and they took that as well. They took other people's wallets, money, clothing. They took items which I've got no use to them whatsoever. They took the TV. Not that I ever watched the TV, but the other people in the house watched the TV. And it's just caused such a big problem. I mean, to try and get your SIMs, to get new cell phones, to get your SIM cards re-registered and whatever it is, has been such a nightmare. To having to get the security company back again, and the truth is that I was naive. I didn't have the alarm system on, and didn't have it activated. I've never really had an alarm system. I've lived in places that were a lot more dingy and dodgy, and I've never used an alarm system. I never had a problem. And in this place where I'm living, in quite a secured neighborhood, which I've been told by the owner of the house that he's had this house for 6 years and he hasn't had one incident, and this house has remained mostly empty. And so for myself, I was just weighing on that confidence, of his. I'm saying what he was saying, and so, But the thing is that even if I had an alarm system activated, right? That there were people in the house that were visiting and sleeping over, not for myself, but for somebody else in the house. And I probably wouldn't have activated it, because if you have guests and they want to go to the loo, or they want to just go to the kitchen or something like that, you can't really activate the alarm. So for one evening, I wouldn't have activated the alarm, but that was the night that they hit, regardless. And so the alarm wasn't even activated at all, or I wasn't signed up to the security company. And so, anyways, for myself, it was very, very strange, folks. This is a very strange thing. This was on Sunday night, and at about 7 o'clock in the evening, I started feeling bilious. I started feeling overwhelmed. I started feeling very anxious. I started feeling very confused, and I just felt completely drained. And I just climbed into bed and fell asleep after 9:15, 9:15, something that I've never done, right? And I've been all types of ill, but like this was something that I didn't understand what on earth was going on with me. I just managed to crawl into bed and fell asleep. And then I woke up at 3 o'clock, needing the toilet like I've never needed in my life. Well, maybe that's not true, but my stomach, number two. My stomach is the first line of indication that something's going on, right? That intuitively, my stomach, and also my own mood as well, depending on my own emotional states, stress states, or whatever it is, my stomach's the first to tell me. And I know when something is going on, maybe things are happening for myself subconsciously that I'm not feeling, but also intuitively. My stomach seems to, to kind of inform me. Anyways, but to a certain degree, that's something else. But I just felt absolutely just overwhelmed, like I said, confused, just out of sorts before I went to sleep, and then I fell asleep. And I had my bedroom door closed, and so did the other people in the house had the door closed. And the thieves, the criminals, didn't enter the bedrooms, didn't open the doors. Thank heavens, and thank heavens that they probably weren't armed. Because if they were armed with guns, then they would have held us all hostage and wanted the jewelry and the safe and everything else that they couldn't maybe find. So thank the heavens that they didn't open the doors. We would have been in serious trouble and serious trauma. And even for myself, if I had woken up in the middle of the night to find these guys ransacking the place. You see, I never really closed my bedroom door, but because there was a visitor over, I didn't want to be disturbed. But had I woken up and caught these guys in the act, I don't know what kind of altercation or confrontation there could have been. I mean, they might just have had knives, they might just have guns. You never know. And it could have been the end of me. So, anyways, I woke up and needing the toilet as desperately as I needed, went to look for my cell phone, to use as a torch in the toilet, because I don't like to switch the lights on in the middle of the night and whatever it is. And the cell phones were gone, and that's when I knew. And I could feel the energy, and it all made sense. And so I went through the rest of the house and found the front door open. Well, not the front door, but one of the doors that they had, which we didn't lock. But, just on that night, that door was locked 90% of the time. And so finding the house, ransacked, the TV gone, and whatever it was, wallets, purses, bags, watches, my camera, my cell phones, whatever it was. My laptop that I'm doing this recording on was in my bedroom. So thank heavens for that. But it was a trauma, folks. It is a trauma. And not only that, but knowing that these guys are going to come back. They're not finished yet. So obviously the next day I went. And this is the irony, folks, is that the day before, the Sunday night, Monday, the security company was coming to activate the alarm. They were supposed to activate it the week before, before the weekend, but I was in another city, so they couldn't come and install the alarm. But had the alarm been on, it would have been a different story. They probably would have opened the door and the alarm would have gone off and they would have run away. So all the what ifs, all the bloody what ifs, So yeah, folks, that's just what's happened, and it's taken me for a knock. And the fact is that we know they're going to come back. because they're going to come back for more of the copper piping. They're going to come try again. And again, there's no need to call the police. I called the police on the copper piping, the second theft of the copper piping, because the landlord wanted to get a case number for the insurance. So I went to the police and I got the case number. Well, they arrived at the house, and they arrive and like the biggest of deals and being like, what are you bothering us with? And the one guy who's driving the police van, he just pulls out his Big Mac hamburger and just starts eating. And the other woman just kind of looks at me. They don't even bother getting out the police van to see what was going on. They weren't even interested. They're like, yes, what? Okay, fine. The guy's just munching down his burger. The police here are completely ineffective. They're useless. And they are actually the biggest gangsters and thieves, and they corrupt. They are the worst. Really, they are. They're the most dangerous of the lot in this country. So, having the house broken into, there's no even point calling the police, because again, it's not only that, but the police will come in and see your vulnerability, see what's going on, and then they're the ones who will hit you next time. So go figure. And so we didn't call the cops. And so the thing is that these guys can come back, and the wall is very low. It's a not low-lying wall. It's about 7-foot wall, but there's no electric fencing on the wall. Even if there was electric fencing, it doesn't make a difference, because these guys have ways and means, and they don't mind getting shocked. They don't mind breaking an arm or a leg or getting cut or something like that. They're not bothered about it. And also for them, even if they stole the TV and they don't have a car, most likely they're on foot. These are probably just, people between the ages of 20 and 30 years old. And so they don't have a car, they can't even afford a car. And so they're on foot. And so even if they get caught by like a security company carrying a TV in the middle of the night, most likely the security company is going to confiscate the TV and send the guys on their way and keep the TV for themselves. So the guys, even if they get caught a lot of the time, they're not worried about it. They're not really overly concerned. Even if the police catch them, they might spend a night in jail, and then they'll bribe the cops with a couple of rand, and then they'll be on their way. So they have nothing really to fear. They have the owner to fear of the house that they're coming into, obviously, because if I had a gun, they could get shot. If there's dogs, but again, they don't really care, and I think they're so desperate that they need to do what they need to do. Anyway, so it's most likely that they're going to come back. And so I've said to the landlord, because my lease only ends next year, February, I said I want out. I said I can't be hit 3 times, and one time in particular they enter the house itself, and we know they're coming back. And so I said to him, you've got to put up beams around the house. And he's like, no, they're too expensive. So it's like, okay, well then I'm a sitting duck. So it's his house. They're going to still come back and rip off all the other copper piping. So, but he'll just claim from insurance again. So he's not worried about my well-being, but he did agree that if I wanted to move out, I can move out. If he didn't, I would have taken him to task over it, but he was understanding. Anyway, folks, so it's deeply affected me, and I had to bring everything that was outside of value, like in the garage. I have a lot of stock in the garage, and I worked maybe 6 hours carrying these heavy boxes. Okay, that was waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, exhausted, all right, and then having to still going through all the situation, all of this trauma of it, and then having to remove for about 6 hours these heavy boxes into the house, because if these guys decide to come back, they'll just grab the boxes as much as they can and be on their way. And not only that, but there's a house next door, like almost opposite me. That's it's not a house; it's just an open piece of land. There was a house there, but they demolished it. So there's a wall there and just high grass, and so these guys can just hide there and just throughout the night just carry off all these boxes. And I'd wake up in the morning and be none the wiser. So yeah, folks, and then I feel just so helpless, because if I want to leave the country, I can't. To get into another country is so difficult. I could get into Israel because I'm Jewish, but I don't want to go to Israel. I'm non-practicing Jew, but I'm Jewish, so it's the only country I can get into. It's kind of like I'm stuck here, Sure, I can maybe travel a little bit, but I mean, maybe if I moved to Thailand or something like that, had a working visa or something, I don't know, found a way and a means, but it's like, I got responsibilities here, I got my somewhat business here, I got people that I know here, and it's just very hard, it's extremely hard, and again, for myself, I'm able to earn a living because of my connections here in this country. If I go overseas, I won't be able to earn a living, really. I really wouldn't. And again, if I took my money that I've saved up here and I went overseas, it would be nothing. Because of the rand-dollar exchange, it's so bad, it's so weak. So if I went anywhere else in the world that was more first world country, I would be a very poor man with very little skills. Okay? I mean, I've got no qualifications. I've worked very informal jobs, running stores of my own and whatever it is, and I'd be out of pocket. So financially, it wouldn't be easy. And so it's what it is, folks. And so I've been really felt demotivated. I've got one video that I have, which I'll probably upload after this video. I suppose I'll upload this first because it's most current. But I did a talk on technology and, us downloading our, human beings and moving ourselves over into the VR reality and a whole lot of that stuff. And back to the VAT in the Matrix, which, it's a very, very intense talk. But I spoke about the womb of the Matrix, going back to the womb of the Matrix. And the machine. And so I've got that talk, and it's a good one, and I'm folks, this is another thing, is that I would make recordings on my camera, and I wouldn't just leave it on my desk here in my house, because I had a feeling that it was going to disappear. I had a feeling like if somebody broke in and stole it, then I would lose the video. So I'd often download the videos onto the laptop when I remembered to. I just remembered again that comment that somebody left, another South African, said that I'm neurotic and I'm paranoid the way that I think. And like, am I really? I spoke about that and how she was trying to gaslight me because she didn't want to see the reality of the situation, of the real reality of South Africa and the place that she lives in. So she was trying to say that I'm, neurotic and paranoid or something like that, or whatever it is. So that's what I used to do. But I had a feeling. I had a feeling one day that, and the problem is that the camera is never usually, it's not usually on the desk. It's somewhere else in the house. It's like in a drawer somewhere. I might not have found it, but it was all, it was all my two cell phones, and the one really I don't use the cell phone. I use just for recording really. But and I had a feeling, folks, intuition, way before. And so I used to hide the stuff or download it onto the computer. So I have this talk on technology, which I'm going to upload after this. But yeah, folks, I know I've got a whole lot of comments to reply to. I just haven't felt the inspiration to do it. I might do it this evening. I don't know. I'm exhausted. I'm despaired. I'm in grief. I'm in mourning. I don't know. I know it'll take some time. A lot of things need to change. Need to move out of this place. It's terrible, folks. Terrible. And the fragileness of life, it's just really, it bothers me at times how fragile we are in a way. Yes, we're very strong at the same time, but sometimes we're up against forces that are just so, diabolical in a way. Or so, what happened to me just very briefly was that in the morning when of this whole event, I needed to go get my SIM card replaced, and I went to the shopping mall. And obviously I felt very sort of exposed and vulnerable and, sensitive. And I walked to the shopping mall, and it was a startling reality. My eyes were more open than they usually were to the illness of a shopping center, to the energies of a shopping center. I didn't realize it, because most of the time I'm just keeping my head down and deliberately ignoring. But now it was just so much in my face. It was like every single shop, every second shop, was just all makeup. And the makeup ladies they're standing there, they looked like ghouls with all this, makeup on, and it was terrible. And every store was just, videos, TVs, these slimline TVs, and these women, the one was just spray painted in gold, and she was just dancing without any underwear, without anything. Like you could just see, what was going on. It was just for like a perfume, and I just saw the ills of it all. All these women, these thin women on these posters that looked like they're heroin addicts or cocaine addicts, and I felt the energy more than I usually do. And then there was also this thing that they were showing off these cars called coffee cars and cake or something like that, and there were these souped up Maseratis, Lamborghinis, Mercedes, or whatever it was, and it was like some of them were just saying speedster on it, and it's like, in South Africa, especially here in the highway where I live, close to a highway where I live, there's accidents, there's people kill themselves once a week to a certain degree, or they write their cars off because it's like they think they are the Vin Diesels. There's something here in the culture, especially in Durban, that the people, the exhaust pipes, they make as loud as noise as they possibly can. And so these cars were in the shopping center, they've got like 4 exhaust pipes, and you can see and I just look at this, and everybody's like standing around and taking selfies and admiring it, and it's like they say, please don't touch the cars and whatever, and you see these very wealthy, men just sitting in the car, like trying it out, and people taking selfies, and I'm thinking, that is disgusting. Like just the car itself, the energy of the car itself, right, was just so dark, right? Not the color of the car. The colors are these extreme colors. They had all these spray paints on it as well. It was obviously just for a sales thing, but maybe people, I don't know, it's terrible, terrible. For one, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just really dark stuff, the whole shopping center, and people there, and I just saw the machine-like nature of it all, and this is just more so sensitive to it. And so for myself, just really been feeling vulnerable by the world that I live in, and how dumbed down we are, and how irresponsible we are, and how immoral we are, and how our values are not right, and our priorities, and how there's no sacredness for life anymore. There's just nothing. And it's like, again, I just saw how hard it is to communicate with people, and because I was just in such a sullen mood, and then I was speaking to the security company who's supposed to come and install the alarm, and the lady's like, hello sir, I hope you're having a nice day. I'm very sorry that the technician is supposed to be on his way. And I'm like, just all of this sales pitching, all of this script that we're all talking about, I was just like, so, it really got to me. It gets to me at the best of times, but the thing is that mostly I think I'm in my power, I'm in my alignment, I'm in my strength. And so I can fend it off. But when you're vulnerable and you're exposed, and your immunity from the darkness is somewhat down to a certain degree, you just really feel it more so. So folks, hopefully I'll come around soon to make more videos. I've never been without like at least 3 or 4 videos in the pipeline to upload, but now I only have 1. So I'm wanting to see what the lessons are from this. I'm learning from the experience. I'm learning my states of being, what I feel like now. I'm learning to be kind to myself. I'm learning to see what really counts at the end of the day. To let small things slide, and not get hung up on the small things, and realize that there's I think puts things into priority as well for me, folks. And there's a lot more to be said on that, but I just wanted to share that and update you folks out there. Not only that, but I also got a copyright strike, which I felt was coming. Like even last, my intuition is kicking up, but I just felt it. I think last night I was looking and thinking, I think I'm gonna get a copyright strike, and I did. And I was on a video that I uploaded maybe about 4 years ago that I think maybe had 600 views on Louis Pascaglio, The Art of Being Fully Human. It's 13 minutes long, and I just took it from another YouTuber. There's plenty of the videos, but they decided to hit me, so I'm going to try and fight for it, but I'm not sure if I will. But I knew it was coming. So folks, I think one of the messages that I can leave you with is trust your intuition, and get in touch with it more so. Alright folks, with that I wish you well. Take care, we'll chat soon.